Hi, hello everyone, and welcome to the Unshackled Perspective with your host, Anthony Mukanya. I would like to thank you guys very much for joining me here for this show. Today I've got a lot of things that I would like to discuss with you. Starting first of all with the situation here in France, as many of you may have known, may know, is over the past 4 or 5 days or so, there's been riots all over the country, from Paris, Lyon, Bordeaux, and everywhere, which came after the sad shooting of a young man, a young 17-year-old boy who lost his life when he basically refused to follow the orders of the police. And sadly, the police got shot. The kid got shot by the police. And since then, there has been riots all over the country. And I would like here to offer my response as a person who lives here in France, and to bring you up to speed with the reality. And I will opine and give my opinion on the situation, and I believe also on the way forward. So without further ado, let's get into this.
Siamo tutti antifascisti! Siamo tutti antifascisti!
In his testimony to the National Police Inspectorate, the officer stands by his version of the story. Shooting point blank in the teenager's chest was an act of self-defense, as he felt his life was in danger. The policeman, who's been detained on homicide charges, is a 38-year-old father, well regarded by his superiors, an experienced officer who was highly distinguished.
He's never been disciplined. He has 2 medals for bravery and 1 from the Interior Minister. It's very rare to have so many distinctions awarded in a 10-year police career.
Key to the investigation are the few barely audible words heard in the video just before the fire. It remains unclear who exactly said the words and whether it was a threat to shoot. The lawyer for the victim's family, though, says the video is sufficient evidence that the officer is at fault.
The defense was not legitimate. My clients wished for the law to be applied and the officer indicted and prosecuted. I think only a strict application of the law can calm the situation.
The 17-year-old victim, Nahel, was already arraigned once for refusing to comply, and again last weekend on the same charges. The Interior Minister says the policeman will be suspended, regardless of the verdict.
In addition to the legal action, which is obviously in the hands of the justice system, there will be sanctions against the officer. As from the looks of the video, his behavior was not in accordance with the instructions and the law.
The second policeman who was on the site has also been questioned by the inspectorate. As for the other 2 passengers in the victim's car at the time, one was arrested immediately as seen in the video and later released under witness testimony, while the other fled the scene.
So, as you can see there, you've heard it for yourself, okay? So and I'm hoping at this stage I can offer my opinion of the situation. Number one, I will look at the incident itself, okay? So I don't have a translation by the prosecutor because when the prosecutor came on TV, he spoke French, obviously, so I don't have an English translation. But to put things in context, so basically what the prosecutor is explaining is that the police officers who were on the motorbike kept following him, and they kept giving him orders to stop. But sadly, the young man didn't want to do it. He didn't want to obey the orders, which were lawful. And during the chase that ensued, there were a couple of incidents that almost happened. So a pedestrian almost got knocked, ran over by the car, and then they almost also ran over two cyclists. So three people were in danger during this chase that lasted about 15 minutes. So in short, that lasted 15 minutes. So when they managed to stop the car, they told the teenager, the driver, to come out, but the driver still didn't listen to what the police officer had said. And you have to remember that basically, because of the dangerousness and things like not stopping at a red light, which happened many times, which happened at least twice, according to what the prosecutor also said. So there were already a dangerous situation that this driver had created. Okay, so this is in the this is the context of the situation, and they told him to stop several times. The kid refused several times, and then we got the situation where they managed to corner him eventually, and then asked him, and they didn't. They still didn't comply. And apparently, I'll come back. The third one, where in the video that you saw, you watched there, the third passenger who was in the car managed to flee, and I'll come back to him a little bit later on. But essentially, the second one got arrested, and apparently, the third one had said that the cops also tried to use the baton to hit him before. And so this is and then they were cornered, and according to the police officers, they felt that the teenager, would have used his car to hit them, and so their lives were very much in danger. Now, personally, I do not approve of the language that has been reported, where he says that I will shoot you in the head, and some people believe that that is the ground on which they are now prosecuting him for the equivalent of first-degree murder, because basically he expressed the intention of killing the young man with that sentence. Okay. But the reason why I'm reacting to this video is a very simple one. I believe that the child, this is very telling. So for those who don't understand or don't know maybe more about the context in France. So this incident happened in Nanterre. Nanterre is what we call a department, so that is an administrative subdivision, which is part of the great region of Île-de-France, which contains Paris. So it's a little I would say, town, or here they call them commune, where it is I think in the north of Paris, the city. So basically, in that whole area is what we call the banlieue here in France. So this is the suburbs that are on the outskirts. And for at least 40 years, those places have always been the scene of confrontation between the police and the people living there, which, and now at least in this day and age, Saint-Denis, so the commune is part of a département. The département, they have several communes in them, and the département ultimately are part of the region. So the region is Île-de-France, the département is Seine-Saint-Denis, and the commune itself is Nanterre. So it's different subdivision. So just to put things into context, and that whole region, the département, has been well known to have also immigrant population living there. Okay, and it is sadly one of the highest crime area per capita when you consider all the small town and commune around the Paris area. Okay, so the greater Paris region. So this is the situation. Okay, and having lived here in France myself, I can tell you that there are always issues between police officers, okay, or law enforcement and members of the public or the young people who tend to come from poor neighborhoods with very little access, for example, to public services, the school, and all of that. So I guess that may so all those elements contribute to the instability that you notice. So that is basically the same. Now, personally, I believe that there is a case here to be made for a number of things. Number one, parental supervision. Okay, so sadly, this kid, if a little bit about background about him, he lives with his mother, who is a single mother, and as far as I know, I haven't seen anything in the news talking about the father. Okay, and so this is what the situation is for this family. And the third boy, sorry, who managed to escape for days. Nobody knew where he was until we found out that he made his way he made his way to Marseille, where his father lived, because according to him, that's where he felt the safest, right? So this is the context. These were underage boys. The driver did not have a license to drive at that time. He he almost ran over pedestrians and cyclists. So already the police officers see everything that has happened. They've been telling him for 15 minutes to do it, and nothing happened. My opinion about this, it is normal that the reaction of these young kids towards the police, in the sense that I believe that these kids are also the same ones who at school do not listen to the teachers, do not listen to any type of authority, and so even when they're in front of police officers who are giving them orders, they don't want to listen. It is very clear. So for me, part of one way of resolving this issue is to tell is family or especially parent implication in the education of the kids, because this is a clear failure by the parent to supervise the kids in a good way. You will notice again in both cases the fathers are not present in the lives of these kids. Now, we know what the story. At least, for example, President Obama used to be very clear about the needs of parents and the need of fathers especially, implication in the lives of the kids and in the education of these kids. But sadly, these days, if you say things that are completely rational, people will think that you're crazy. So, you have a situation with a child who is driving a car that is not allowed to drive, who is not respecting the authority because in his whole life he has never learned to respect authorities, doesn't have his father in his home, and then we have the situation that we have right now. And as you saw in the clip, since then there has been a lot of stores that have been rampage, and a lot of stores where people just broke in and stole things. They stole, and in some cases they also went to high-end store like Apple and jewelry and restaurant, and they've caused a lot of damage. That for me is a big problem. And I can understand, as I said before, the fact that the police officer should never have said the words, "I will shoot you in the head." Okay? I can I can understand the feelings of the mother in terms of her son, her only son who died. I can understand that and I can respect that. But the fact of the matter is that this is a complete failure of the education system. A complete and utter failure of the education system. And this is why we have the type of situation that we have at the moment. So I think I will just try. I might be able to even find a case here. Just give me a second. I may have saved that. No, apparently no, I did not. But the situation was so bad that there is a video going online. Okay, there's a video going online where a teacher is actually asking the individuals who are attacking a school not to do that. Why on earth would you attack school buses? Why on earth would you attack school properties? Even if you have a problem with the police officer who happened to have shot a member of your community. You destroy also public transport, the same public transport that will help you to go to work, for those who work, who have parents who go to work. And as you saw at the beginning with that CNN reporting, 30% of those who are arrested at the moment for because of these riots, I about 17 years old. And they already come from communities that are not supported, not really supported by the government in terms of availability of resources such as school and the likes. So why do that? Why do that? I ask the question. Why do that? To me, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, so that's my reaction. I don't understand why we get to a point where, yes, fair enough, you want to protest, you're not happy with the way the police handle this situation. I can understand that, but we need to stop saying that this kid was an angel. It was not. Okay. He was, as you heard in the video, he was already told. He had already been arrested prior to that for driving without any license. And he had already refused to listen to the orders, that the legitimate and lawful orders that the police had given him. For me, it's very sad to see people who have immigrated. Oh, well, he may not have been an immigrant. I believe he was born in this country, and yet are not thankful for what this country has actually done for them. This blows my mind because I'm also an immigrant myself, and I don't understand why you can move to a country and then to destroy it and not take care of it. The same resources, once again, the very same resources that you're gonna need in order to probably and hopefully get yourself out of this situation and move and create that upward mobility. I would like someone to explain to me why that is a good thing, that a kid like that who grows up without a father has the right to refuse to listen to what the police officers are telling him and to create this problem. So that's my position. I wish people can talk about it with more, how can I say that, with more purpose in terms of fixing the issue, but I guess nobody wants to do that, really, okay? And that is sad because we want to explain bad behavior at all time. And personally, I'm sick and tired of that because I have had run-ins with the police in the sense that, for example, I remember once I was in Paris going for an interview. I was on the train and my shoe got dirty and I was trying to wipe it off and I put my feet on one of the seats in front of me. And at the same time, as I was wiping it up, the mud off my shoes, one of the members of the security services that are normally on the train, they saw me and they said, oh, and they have been invested with the power to bring order in the public transport within Paris. I didn't say to them, hey, I didn't argue with them. I realized that inadvertently I had done it. I apologized for it. They were very understanding, and then we moved on. Nobody touched me, nobody punched me, nobody has did anything. They said, it's okay, sir, we understand, it's fine. I paid the fine, I can't remember the amount, and I left. So it is important for people to know how to de-escalate situation. And I am sick and tired of people who are then acting in a way that hurt the community by destroying, could have killed people, and yet some people in the media wants to protect them. So basically, we want to import American style protest in France, and we have the result of like the BLM riot, and we have the results here with, as you saw, over 2,000 cars being lit and destroyed by the protesters. I don't get that. I would like someone to explain to me why, when you do that, what is it that they think? They think that they're destroying this guy's life by destroying other people's properties and businesses and the like, and their school. The school in their own community. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm wrong, but it doesn't make any sense to me. Why would you destroy the very thing that you need in order to guarantee yourself a future? So this is my thoughts. I would like you guys to let me know what you think. Am I wrong to suggest that perhaps this delinquent, because this is what they are delinquents, that those delinquents should not have the right to do things like this? So I would like to hear from you guys, and I would very much appreciate your comment, thoughts on this. So please don't forget to share, comment, and like the view, and subscribe also if you think that this brings you a better understanding about the world around you. So again, my name is Anthony Mikanya, and thank you for joining me here today.